What is creativity? For me, it's two things. It's both passion, what gets you fired up on the inside, and vulnerability, which is taking that thing that gets you excited and actually exposing it to the world. The problem with exposing yourself is that's a scary thing. It should cause fear inside of you because you're vulnerable. But that's why creativity actually requires this little thing we call courage. Taking the fear and deciding you're not going to let that overcome you, but you're going to overcome it with courage. But what happens on those days when you're feeling discouraged? You guys ever have those? Where it feels like all of your creativity and everything that's going on inside of you is saying, hey, like, don't do it. That's what we're going to talk about. Discouragement. Fairly normal for anybody who's done any kind of creative endeavor. And discouragement can come from the outside. Somebody can leave a horrible comment on something, say something really mean. In the real life, circumstances can happen, tragedies, all sorts of things can come from the outside, and dealing with those is never easy because it's very unknown and we have very little control over that. But the thing that I want to talk about is the thing that we do have control over, the thing that we do the most that sabotages our own creativity, and that is comparing ourselves. Now, it seems maybe a little bit obvious, but we do this all the time. We look at how many followers so-and-so has, or we look at somebody and say, man, they're better looking than I am, or they're funnier than I am, or they're way more talented than I am, a personal thing that I hate. But the problem with that is we don't know their journey, we don't know their struggles, we don't know what they've been through to get where they are, and also sometimes success or apparent success is actually just as much luck as it is hard work. That I believe there's people out there who are better musicians than any of the top musicians that you or I know, but they just never caught the break that sometimes the big people caught. Or even the people that have caught the break, when you talk to them, you hear about how many years of struggle they went through doing, you know, countless shows that nobody saw. Or I'm watching a lot of stand-up comics lately and how they talk about in the early days they would do an entire show for 25 minutes and not get a single laugh. And when they look at the people around them, they're going, these comedians are so funny. They're getting endless amounts of laughter. I'm getting none, I should quit. Yet today they're some of the world's most successful comedians because there's a process, you guys. There's absolutely a process, and if you're not willing to embrace and go through that process, like every person who's found success has, then you are going to be so discouraged because you're trying to skip ahead. You're trying to skip steps that you have to go through, as opposed to recognizing these are the steps that I need to go to get where I want to go, and I can't compare myself to other people. The other thing that we compare ourselves to is actually ourselves and our own previous successes. You hear about stories of people that do this. They post a selfie on Instagram, and if in the first 30 minutes or maybe 10 minutes they aren't getting the same level of likes that they've got in other photos, they're taking them down. And we laugh at that. But many of us are also guilty of doing that. Whether we publish a YouTube video here and we go, this video only got 500 views and another one I have has 5,000. Was that a failure? Well, no, it's that the creative process is very much ups and downs, and if you're really being true to who you are, you have to also recognize that some things you care about resonate more with other people and less with other people. And sometimes certain projects that you do, they resonate really well with 10 people, and other ones resonate really well with 1,000 people, but it doesn't mean that's not an important part of the journey and the process. Is you have to believe that who you are and what you have inside of you is enough, and you need to be true to that, which sounds corny to say, but really, you are you. And you have to be confident and have the courage to put yourselves out there. And anytime that you start comparing yourself, your success, your skills, your abilities, you're taking time and energy away from the thing that matters most, which is continuing to hone that craft, continuing to invest in who you are, continuing to put your head down, keep your eyes focused on what you can control, and continuing to do the work. I think if you do that, you're going to find that discouragement comes a lot less.